Welcome to a hot new episode of the Whiskey and Whitetails YouTube channel. I'm Matt. And he's Gus.
I'm Gus.
We're running through bottles. So like all the content coming out right now is empty bottles because we're trying to get rid of some stuff. We have a bunch of stuff that's like this. So this is an Old Forester bottle superstore pick. You know
what?
Bottle
superstore. Gotcha.
So a friend brought this over. And he was like, he left at the house.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, don't worry about it. I'm not going to drink it. I drank it.
He tried it and we're like, oh yeah.
Well, the problem is all these store picks are all this blue label. And
yeah.
I just got in a mood. Sometimes I'm in a mood for hot Old Forester. And I just went in there and started pouring and I didn't realize. I mean, I still don't think I'm the one. I don't know who drank it.
Well,
it had to have been me, but.
131.2.
It's tight.
Tight.
Yeah, I'm not doing a Glen on these. I just want to use our Whiskey and Whitetails glasses that you can't buy. Bam! We give those away sometimes. Actually, we'll do it in this video. Use code OLD. Use code.
Make them work for it. Use the whole thing. Old Forester.
Yeah, use code OLD Forester. You will get nothing off your order, but we will throw in this. We'll throw in a Whiskey and Whitetails.
And we'll let you watch the YouTubes and all that stuff, and we'll love you for it forever.
Yeah. So this episode, we wanted to go over the studio because we said that we would a long time ago, and we just haven't.
We just haven't done it.
So I have been recording as we've been building, and you know all the pieces I don't know, which is why we had to do this together. But first, I'm going to take a smell of this bottle Superstore. Yeah. And it doesn't do as much, not in a Glencairn.
Hey, I know, but still.
No, I mean, it's like, that's why
you use a Glencairn.
Yeah. It is just as hot, though. Fire. Hot. It's delicious. All right. So we had an idea for the studio for a long time, and we weren't exactly sure how we wanted to do it, but we knew we wanted barrels in the background. But originally we were discussing staves.
Yeah, like building a stave wall.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't work with barrels, staves are not straight, they're curved, so you have to kind of cut them in these weird sections to get them to be straight, but even then they're not straight.
They're just close to straight. So
it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So it'd be super effing heavy. I mean, to build a stave wall.
Yeah, and we're a little bit limited as to what we can do as far as installing certain things.
Yeah, we were actually told not to do anything in here, and we did. Well, he said make it your own, so we were allowed to hang pictures. So I took hang pictures, meaning we could put some holes in the walls.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't put any more holes in the wall than you would if you hung pictures. And I was looking at another office around here, and they've got walls covered in pictures and things. So
it doesn't bother me. I'm fine. I like this place, and I'm good with the rules.
Yeah,
and
we love
the owners, and everybody's great.
Yeah.
This whole process has been so easy. Like, we always thought, because this is our first time having, a commercial space for a business that we are owning. I cannot stop petting this thing.
It's a good girl.
And so they...
He's dead.
All right. So we ended up... This is what we ended up doing. So we took a room, that's this room that you're looking at, and we needed to quiet it down some. So we have curtain rods at the top, just like generic Amazon.
Yeah, we got them off Amazon. They're heavy-duty curtain rods, so they're not your cheap...
Yeah,
like Walmart going to bend, because these are really thick curtains that are designed for noise reduction and for light blocking.
Yeah,
but we're using them for noise reduction, obviously.
They're sound deadening. They're really thick and they're heavy, so we had to get nice curtain rods. But then after that, that was just the background, and you can't see in the video because we have a nice short frame camera or a field of view camera. The curtains are super wrinkly.
It's okay,
but you can't tell in the video, so it's fine. So the barrels, we decided to just take barrels. So as you can see the lighting here and the shadows that are behind here. So these look like full barrels, but they're not. They're actually split in half. So this is only 2 whiskey barrels that I cut in half. And so I'll get right into that because I filmed it all. So basically you got to put these studs all the way through it. I probably use way more than you need to, but I used an entire box of screws on each barrel. But
really,
yeah, I ran top and bottom, and then I went through and kind of did support holes.
Yeah,
and randomly, just like crisscross around the barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used the angle grinder to cut the hoops. and I cut them on the line of 2 staves that were mated together, so I didn't have to cut down the side of the barrel.
Nice.
And then I just used a Sawzall for the top and just Sawzalled right through it.
Sure.
And then I did some backing pieces inside the lids and the sides of the barrels. There's 2x4s in there that are screwed in to kind of keep it all together. But I did not wash these barrels. I did not do anything to them. So they are in their natural glory. I literally split them in half. Now on the inside, as you can see here, they're disgusting. So I ended up using a wire brush to kind of clean some of it out. And then I vacuumed it out, which ruined my vacuum. And then I had to, and I coated the inside with Flex Seal, which if you remember,
it was funny.
I made an Instagram post to Flex Seal, and they like reposted it and
commented back. Yeah.
Because I said, "Will it float?" You know, and they thought that was funny.
They said it was Flextastic.
Yeah, Flextastic is what they said. This video is sponsored by Flex Seal. So that was it. As for the top, this is not the original top that we wanted. The reason that this serves 2 purposes. The skin here or pelt is that if you look kind of right here and here, the whiskey has been staining it because it's just, what kind of wood is this? OSB?
No, this is actually, it's finished plywood or something. I don't know. It's got like, it's plywood, but then instead of like rough plywood, the top sheet is like a nice sanded finished plywood. I don't know the name for it.
Well, there you go. It's finished plywood, which was stained very nicely. And it's got little wood backings. These are 1x4s.
Yeah, it's like 1x4s around to just provide a little, and then across to give it some stability. And then
we got legs off Amazon.
Legs off Amazon, and just screwed them in. The whole thing, total combined time over the course of a few days, I think was maybe 3 hours to put it together.
How much does this podcast table cost?
$120.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was cheap. Only because lumber prices are so ridiculous right now.
Well, they're down now.
But when we made this, they were still high.
Skyrocketed.
They're dropping. They're not as low as they were this time, I think, last year. But yeah, regardless, we built this table for around $120, and it would have been a little bit more, but we already had the polyurethane stuff and the stain. Jessica, my wife, did that for me, so thank you. That was awesome. Yeah, but unfortunately, the alcohol, especially some of the higher proof stuff that we use, for some reason, it kind of cuts into this cover, this polyurethane cover. So this does 2 things: helps with the spills and prevents all of the
that sound. But
it'll be even better once I move these arms back there.
Yes, and then underneath these barrels there is a bench that was built that it's just a 2x4s all screwed together, and these are just sitting on top of it. And then these bookshelves behind us, we weren't really originally planning on having those, but the table, just because of the framing of the camera, we needed to be able to push it out some, so we weren't all leaned over. We can actually sit back and relax.
It allows us to be a little more natural.
They were $60, I think, each. Home Goods? Whole Foods?
Home Goods.
Home Goods.
Yep.
They were $60 a piece. And then...
Yeah. We made money on selling barrels, so those barrels were paid for through our barrel sales. We already had most of this other equipment from our other production stuff, and there's a desk in the corner you can't see that I got for $60 from a lady on Facebook Marketplace. And
then we have a TV back there that was an Amazon Prime Day deal that I got for the house, but it's too small for what I wanted to use it for. So it's there.
Outside of all the stuff that we already had for how we were doing the podcast previously that we'd been rolling with since last year, since we started, how much did we spend to get this thing set up? Is it fair to say we spent less than $400?
Yeah, less than $400. Yeah,
well less. We have the revenue to cover it, and we were able to do so without borrowing money or having another investor. So
yeah, no investors. Nobody has their hands in our pockets. That's why we can do whatever we want. There is no one to tell us that we can't do something. So if there's something you want us to do that you think would be fun or an interesting topic,
assuming it's not going to get us,
we won't do anything illegal,
canceled,
so I'm not going to do something else.
Ruin our business. But
I don't think that personally either of us would ever do anything that would get us canceled. Well, I don't know. People get freaked out over the dumbest things.
Some of the silliest things, like the fact that we just petted a pelt and said, "Good girl."
Yeah, it's true. Somebody might get upset. And just so you know, I did not kill this deer.
No,
and I bought this legally at a store from someone else that killed it. I didn't tan it. I don't have anything to do with this deer.
But I will kill a deer.
Yeah, I will too.
Probably here in the next couple of weeks.
This deer was killed by someone else, and the skin was put in a store, and it sat there being unused, and now Whiskey and Whitetails has put it to use.
Amen, brother.
Just saying. You know?
Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah. And it's so soft. All right. But yeah, we just want to go through the podcast studio, kind of how we built it, what's behind it, and how we did it, because we get a lot of compliments, and thank you guys for being so nice to us about the podcast studio. We're thrilled to have it. Not podcast studio, it's just a studio. This is not a podcast, even though we're sometimes dressing like we're wearing a... Yeah, leave us a comment if we should ditch the headphones. We just like them because...
Well, here's the thing. Like, they're very helpful for us whenever we're... It serves a couple of purposes. One, it looks freaking cool. Second, it sounds like we can hear ourselves better, and it allows us to pick up anomalies in the microphones or anything. So because we don't have a sound engineer sitting off to the side running our mixing board for us, it's helpful for us to be able to hear, because it's happened before in other podcasts where we've had a wire, a headphone or an XLR cross a power cord and it starts to get feedback or a buzzing noise. This allows us to identify those things. We try to take them off if we're doing a solo video for the channel, but when we're doing podcasts or videos like this, it's just really helpful to have.
It also really puts you in the moment, and you know that I have like severe ADHD, and I've had it my whole life, and I'm not just someone that says that they had it. Like I for real, my whole life have not been able to pay attention to anything. But something about putting these headphones on just locks me in the conversation.
It locks you in. That's the best explanation.
So that's what the studio is behind. We're not going to go through the equipment because these people do not pay us to advertise their brand. So we're not going to do it. These are Heaven Hill barrels, by the way. Figured I'd
throw that out there.
Yeah.
Since we're not going to talk about brands.
If it matters. Well, I don't care about that one. Heaven Hill barrels.
The studio
Whitetail deer
is brought to you in part by Dom Gatto.
Yeah, Dom Gatto has a spot here. Which you can buy these at whiskeyandwhitetails.com and you use code podcast, get 20% off.
And you get not just one, but you get 3 pictures.
2.
You get 2?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Jeez. It was originally 1 and then I made it 2. But you get this beautiful little baby does, little baby bucks, and then this kisses. Adult does, adult bucks, doing the same thing. It's the exact same picture.
What do you think he's whispering to her? Hey, baby.
Come here. Where's the corn at? There's a guy taking our picture right now.
Sarah, don't move.
Don't move. He's looking at it. It's, possible.
That may be the last time we ever whisper on camera.
I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, that. And then we have our little Whiskey and Whitetails flight here that you can buy at whiskeyandwhitetails.com. And then when these are, these mic stands, they are spring loaded. So without the microphone on them, they're like,
yeah, I took one off.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah, I took it off the microphone the other day, and so it lost its grounded like to the tableness, the groundedness to the table. Anyways, it allowed it to flex because there was nothing keeping it in place. And I remember I got my finger stuck in it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, my finger was getting crushed, and I didn't know what to do because it didn't matter which way you turned it. Pushed it, it hurt. It was fun.
But these are cool.
It hurt.
I heard it.
Yeah.
Can you see any brands? No. You could probably, if you know what that symbol is, you're probably good.
Yeah, I mean, if someone looks closely, it's stuff they can figure it out, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about them.
Yeah, me neither. Or these box lights. Or this soft box light, which is my favorite light in the world. Okay, I think we've said enough. And that's what the podcast studio looks like, round about what it costs us to make. This will be replaced. Eventually, we have the guy that made the bar, David Benjamin.
I'm going to put this in my office as my personal desk.
You can.
Or we can move it over there.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll find something to do for it.
But we're going to do a think houndstooth, but whiskey barrels. So it's going to be like the outside of the barrel and the inside, the char side, kind of
alternating,
interlaid, and then
epoxy.
And then we're going to epoxy the top. That way, the alcohol won't mess with it.
Yeah.
So that's coming. We're not really in a huge rush to do it, but it might be a project for the spring after hunting season.
Yeah, because we're about to get busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Busier than that guy. Yep. The holiday season is coming. Winter is coming.
I just had that meme in my head as soon as you said holiday season is coming.
I just started rewatching that show.
Oh, have you?
And
we're 20 minutes in. Like, we're treating this like a podcast. All right, folks, it's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us babble about that. Yeah, I may cut it all out. Have a great day. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching how I made it. And if you have any questions about how the stuff was put together or how you can make your own podcast studio, please leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment. Shoot us a message.
And we'll help you out.
And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed. Like this video. Hit that notification bell. That helps us get more of this content like this in front of you.
See. Muchas gracias.
Adios.
Adios.